already seen this kind of the things happen in China, and I believe there's also several small area. They are also working a kind of the prototype in Europe and in US as well.
In this episode of Embedded Insiders, Editor-in-Chief Ken Briota talks with Lancelot Hugh, Director of Automotive and Embedded Solutions at Silicon Motion. Hugh oversees SMI's eMMC, UFS, and embedded product lines, and the conversation explores how the company supports embedded industrial and automotive customers through advanced flash controller technology and complete embedded storage solutions. Next, Rich is joined by Faisal Bayat, co-chair of the Zigbee Working Group at the Connectivity Standards Alliance and senior software architect with Silicon Labs. The two discuss the latest revision of the Zigbee spec version 4.0, designed to enhance security and smart energy. But first, Rich and Ken recap their attendance of CES 2025 and what trends they expect to see at the event in 2026. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Embedded Insiders podcast. I'm Assistant Managing Editor Tiara Oliver, and I'm joined with our Editor-in-Chief, Ken Briota, and our Contributing Editor, Rich Nass. Hey, guys.
Howdy.
Hello. How goes it?
Going good. So CES is coming up quickly next month, and I know usually around this time we give our predictions and thoughts of what we're going to expect coming into the new year. So I went back and I listened to our previous podcast from earlier this year in January, where you guys came back from CES and you gave a small recap of, the things that you saw and the trends you expect to see for 2025. So I thought I would pose some of your own thoughts to you guys and see what you guys think the
I
year
didn't know
turned
this
out
was
to
going to
go.
be a call-out show, Tiara, but all right, let's go.
Well,
It
the
makes it
first
fun for
prediction
me.
is an easy one. My feet will not be hurting me after CES because I'm not going this year.
Oh, you don't have to sound so pleased with yourself, Rich.
It's funny because every year after CES, I say, I'm never doing this again. I'm never coming back here. This is so hard to do. And I always find myself back at CES. But this year, I will not be at CES.
Yeah, I'll be there by my lonesome. So you folks out there listening, if you see me mournful and wandering alone down the streets of Las Vegas, pull me into a nice warm bar and buy me a drink.
Yeah, you and 400,000 other people wandering the streets. You won't be alone.
All right, Tiara, we've delayed you enough. Hit us with our, I'm sure, entirely prescient predictions.
So the first thing you guys talked about was the automotive trends that you saw. Software-defined vehicles was, of course, one of the big trends. You mentioned electric vehicle infrastructure and charging infrastructure quite a bit, and how we're moving closer to EVs and away from the internal combustion engine. Also, architectures in vehicles being segmented and back to, or from being segmented and going back to central compute with different parts of the system being controlled via hypervisor.
So to clarify, is this the 5-hour version of this podcast? Because that might be how long it'll take us to get through this topic.
No, Rich, I've got it. Let's see. We were wrong, right, wrong. Thank you. That's
Yeah, unfortunately, there was a lot of wrong there, and the whole EV thing. It didn't progress nearly as far as I would have liked or hoped. And at the back end of the year, we got the political part got in the way because the folks in power now aren't pushing real hard for EVs. They want combustion engines to continue, and without even having to be very fuel efficient.
Right. Some of the fuel efficiency stuff is either has been or is being talked about being rolled back. The obviously the charging infrastructure hasn't grown nearly as fast as we thought it would.
But it hasn't
Although
needed to, because the sales of the EVs hasn't taken off either.
exactly. And I mean, the government contracts that we thought were going to help, spur on the fleet management just obviously haven't happened and probably won't for another 3 years or so. But if then, yeah, I think that everyone got it a little bit wrong on the EV side for sure. On the SDV side, though, on the software-defined vehicle side, I think it's developed a little slower than at least I hoped at the beginning of last year, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been developing. The vehicles are absolutely getting smarter. That's definitely happening. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree with that. And the one example that I think is a really good one is the autonomous taxis are being rolled out in lots of major cities.
yeah,
So
and it's
that's a
not
really
just
good.
Waymo either. There's a couple of
Mhm.
companies doing it now.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting because you guys also did touch on that very briefly last year. Rich, you mentioned how you saw a lot of autonomous transportation at CES that was not, car related. So,
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But to be clear, are you going to be going back next year and reminding me what I predicted? Because that might change what I predict.
no promises, but this one was just a good idea at the moment to
All
try.
right.
Incredible.
Um,
I think the central compute thing turned out to be correct. I think that has
Yes.
been the
Yes.
architecture that is the only architecture I've heard about this year in terms of new designs. Do you
Yep.
feel the same
I
way,
agree.
Rich? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
At least in terms of automotive.
Yep.
I honestly with a given level of clairvoyance, I think we did pretty well on the automotive front, Rich.
Okay. All right. If that's the
Hey,
way we're going.
anything above a 0 seems like a win when it comes to telling the future.
Well, in our case, that's true. But if you're one of the vendors, you got to be more right than wrong.
Yeah, I suppose that's true, which, I suppose we could go down the rabbit hole of incremental development cycles versus inflection points as a philosophical debate, but I'm not sure that the listeners really want that.
That's for sure. So I'm going to make a bold prediction here.
All right.
I assume the next topic we're going to go into is AI.
yes, would you like to hear what you thought? Or, yeah.
I don't know. Do I? Sure. Go ahead.
I thought it was pretty interesting. You mentioned that last year, at the beginning of CES, was the year everyone said that they were doing AI without really doing AI. People just wanted to check off the AI box, whether it was real or not. It was very marketing, and a lot of these products, or not a lot, but some of the products that were just mentioning AI didn't really need it. It was just kind of a tag on.
Hmm. That was
Sadly,
actually really true.
I think we got that one exactly right. And
Yeah,
See?
I think so.
quite frankly, I don't think it's changed very much either.
Well, we've moved into what I would call early stage development,
Okay.
for the most part, and there's the end products are out there, but they are few and far between. There's people are hunkered down in development now, and I guess that's what you'd expect, but it did not roll out very quickly, and it is not rolling out very quickly.
Yeah. The big positive development on that front, I think, as I would agree that we're in that early stage now, or at least getting close to it, is that I have had many more conversations towards the end of this year about small models and
Hmm.
uniquely tailored AI models and training that I was having at the beginning of the year, where everyone was talking about large language models
Mhm.
and chatbot and that kind of thing. And now, as products are actually being developed, those conversations are much more about tailored data, and I find that to be a positive development personally. So that'll be my pre-CES prediction, is that I'm going to see a lot at CES about small models, AI at the edge, nimbleness, and um, uh, sort of single purpose AI devices rather than sort of specialization rather than generalization in AI is probably the trend that I would say I expect to see. We'll see if I'm right.
I I agree completely. I think everything that you said is accurate, which I guess is kind of boring, but it is the case. And if you're a vendor, the good news is there's not a winner yet, and there's still a lot of room for somebody to win. And I'm
Yeah.
doing air quotes around win. You know, who really knows what that looks like? But
Yeah.
nobody's really emerged as the platform everybody is flocking to.
My business development device, this disclaimer is for those of you who might be foolish enough to take my advice. This is not legal advice, is don't try to partner with the big large language model, generative AI companies for building your tailored AI. Don't use a Chat GPT mod. Don't use a Gemini mod. Build, hire a scientist, hire an AI expert, and build your own language model. Make it unique to what you need to do. I think you're going to do better.
I believe that falls in the easier said than done category.
All of the best predictions and advice falls into that category, Rich, don't you know?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Awesome. What other predictions did we stick our feet into, Tiara, or have we dodged the landmines?
You dodged it this time. It was just mostly automotive and AI heavy. So we'll see what you come back with in the next podcast and recap what's coming up.
Okay, one more. I want to stick my neck out there just a smidge. Something's going to happen with one of the FPGA companies. Altera might be acquired by somebody or a Lattice or one of the smaller folks, but something has to happen there on the AI front. And it's been too quiet for too long.
I have to, I mean, I know it's boring, but I have to agree. It's, I hadn't been sort of watching the M&A space from FPGA point of view specifically ever since the Altera sort of split off and became independent again. And I think you're right. I think there's been so much FPGA development this year, and there have been a few like head and shoulders above the rest companies that came out about it. I bet you're right. I bet if we don't see the first announcement during CES, I bet we'll see one during Embedded World.
Okay. I think it might be later in the year, but I definitely think it'll be in 2026.
That's awesome. I think that would be if we kicked off a big spat of that, I think it'd probably be good for the FPGA space at this point, to sort of spur everybody into differentiating a little bit. So that might be interesting. This may be, I don't want to stretch our introduction out forever, but on the topic of M&A, a little bit of news went by back in late September, early October, that sort of went way under the radar, and I thought it was going to be such a big splash when Qualcomm bought Arduino. I haven't seen anything happen about that since then. Isn't that crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that should have been huge?
I think I think Qualcomm thought it was a bigger deal than it really is. I'm not sure how much people really care about Arduino anymore.
Ooh, shots fired. It was funny because I was at a show in Texas, in Austin, when I heard that news. And the Arduino folks were there, and they were talking about launching Arduino for business. Their Arduino Pro line. First time, we're not a hobbyist company. We're making, scalable commercial products. And then the next Monday, the announcement was made about the acquisition. And I was like, oh, they're doing a rollout. This is going to be a whole big thing. And now I've heard nothing. It's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, when small company gets acquired by big company, there's a lot of integration that has to happen, and that's painful.
Maybe that's
often.
all it is. Maybe that's all
Yeah.
it is right now is, they didn't say very much about their reasoning or their motivation behind the acquisition. So
Mhm.
maybe they were just in it for the tech and the boards and the name. I don't know.
We shall see.
Yep. But that's my official digression for this intro, Tiara.
It's a good
Sounds
one.
good. I think we gave the audience a lot to think about and comment on, so stay tuned for the rest of the podcast, everyone. Thanks for joining. Now, here's your Lancelot Hugh of Silicon Motion.
Let's take a quick break.
With the holidays coming, also come scammers.
Ma'am, but we suspect there's going to be more fraud on your account.
I'm Michelle Bousquet, a cybersecurity teacher who loves to spread the word about hacks and scams.
Facebook users are exposed to over 22 billion scam
On the
posts.
How Hacks Happen podcast, I cover scams and hacks in everyday language, explaining how they work under the hood.
Let's talk about the scam from start to finish. It all starts with an invoice.
That's How Hacks Happen, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another segment of the Embedded Insiders podcast, the podcast where we here at Embedded Computing Design talk about some of the most interesting issues and technologies in the embedded computing space. I am very excited to have as my guest today, Lancelot Hu of Silicon Motion. Lancelot, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Cam. This is Lancelot. I'm in charge of the eMNC UFS and the embedded solution of SMI. Thank you.
And I'm so excited to have you. We tried to meet back at Computex earlier this year, and we couldn't make our schedules work. So I'm really glad you were able to get together with me to do a chat today. The folks out there listening are going to be really interested. What have you got cooking? What are you working on these days? What's exciting from SMI?
Yep. Typically, SMI, we are the fabulous semiconductor IC design house. So we are focused on the controller business. So that means we ship a lot of the NAND flash related controller to the world. From the legacy, the USB, some drive, and the SD card, to the high-end client SSD and the enterprise SSD controller. So most of the OEM customer use the SMI controller inside in their, no matter it's a cell phone, notebook, or PC OEM or enterprise server inside their solutions. So we are all in their products. So we also deliver the solutions, means that we provide the total solution of the eMNC UFS and the BGA SSD to support the latest industrial, embedded, and the most important is the automotive customer in the world. So we directly co-work with this tier one customer and the brand name company like Siemens and Kontron and some China and the bigger auto car makers in the world. Yep.
Yeah. I know you some of the big news recently was the PCIe Gen 5. Is that right? I mean, how's it been going with that release?
Yeah. So yeah, we announced the latest PCIe Gen 5 SSD controller to the world, and we also got several design with the PC OEM customer like the HP Dell. Yeah. So I believe we are deliver a very good product to support the new PCIe Gen 5 SSD controller to in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously these kinds of controllers, PCIe is really exciting for a lot of engineers right now. Um, are you guys involved in AI processing, AI at the edge, any of that stuff right now?
Yeah. Talk about the AI. So we are also the participate the AI trend, especially for the storage point of view. Um, from the edge point of view, we are provide the latest eMMC and UFS, which also can adapt into the AI server routine device. And our enterprise SSD also deliver the high performance, low latency product controller to help the AI server to for their high bandwidth, high capacities, and the high reliability uh, server and enterprise SSD. This is
You
our
know,
latest product to support the server and the enterprise SSD. Yeah.
I think that storage is one of the most useful places for AI application. I mean, I'm a big fan. Folks who listen to the podcast regularly will know that I'm a bit of an AI skeptic, especially when it comes to large language models and generative AI. And I don't think there's a lot of practical industrial uses there. But small models, storage, retrieval, organization, I think AI can be really useful in these areas. I'd be curious to hear your opinions on sort of what some of the good applications for AI is and what kind of architectures you like to see.
Uh, we see the AI already not we don't say it's a transfer from the cloud AI to the edge point because they will survive the both for big data they will store into the cloud side and some recently we see many application who also involve a lot of the edge AI that industrial product and the cell phone. They also talk about a lot of the small language model, which are tuning in the client device that the cell phone and the PC. So you can see from last year, there will talk about a lot of the PC, AI PC and
Hmm.
the AI phone. So uh, the storage also played a very important role in this kind of the
Yeah,
edge device. Yeah.
yeah, that's very cool. I want to change gears if you're all right with it and talk a little bit more about automotive. I know you guys are big players there and you do a lot of work with automotive clients and customers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, I remember a bunch of years ago when I was still covering IoT stuff exclusively, we were all really excited about V2X. And we were
Mm.
really excited about that. And I don't hear a lot about it. I know you guys do some work in that area. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in the V2X world? Is it tying into smart city? Is it being used? How's it being used?
Yeah. Uh, Currently, the kind of the infrastructure still building, still structure for all, or they already can communicate with their traffic light and their to another cars. So this is the very powerful for uh, the whole traffic ecosystem. Yeah. Just like
Yeah,
the a lot of the vehicle provider here, like the BYD and the Huawei, they also provide a kind of the system that can talk to each other, so you can know the what the traffic likes. I already seen this kind of the things happen in China, and I believe there's also several small area. They are also working a kind of the prototype in Europe and in US as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Lancelot, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's always nice to pick somebody's brain and find out what you're thinking about. I know it's quite late where you are, so I'm gonna let you go. Folks out there listening, make sure you check out SMI and all the stuff that they're doing out there. There's some really exciting tech happening, and you can go to siliconmotion.com to find out what they've been up to. In the meantime, Lancelot, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Folks, I've been Ken Briota, your editor-in-chief for Embedded Computing Design and your host. We'll catch you next time on Embedded Insiders.
Now, here's Faisal Bayat of the Zigbee Alliance and Silicon Labs.
Good afternoon. My name is Rich Nass. I am with Embedded Computing Design. My guest for the podcast today is quite timely. It is Faisal Bayat, and he is a senior software engineer with Silicon Labs. However, today he's representing the Zigbee working group as he is the co-chair, and they just had a pretty significant announcement recently. How you doing, Faisal?
Hey, thanks, Rich. I'm doing well.
Good. Exciting times from what I gather. This is a pretty big deal.
Oh, yes. With the Connectivity Standards Alliance, we have a number of technologies which we represent, and it's great to bring new technologies to you. And we have one right across the board for you today.
Okay, so let me just put everybody in the right context here. You said the CSA, the Connectivity Standards Alliance, that is part of the Zigbee group, which is what I referenced. Just want to make sure everybody understands who the players are here. And you're representing the CSA, which is part of the Zigbee Alliance, right?
It's actually the Connectivity Standards Alliance. So Zigbee Alliance used to be its former name. It has actually then been rebranded as the Connectivity Standards Alliance now. And Zigbee belongs under that group now.
Got it. Okay, because we've done a lot of reporting and writing on Matter and all that stuff that goes with it. That's part of the CSA. So, but now we're talking about Zigbee. So Zigbee 4.0, is that what I heard?
That is right, yes. So we have launched Zigbee 4.0, which is our new product certification. So it replaces the Zigbee 3.0, which has been a mainstay of connectivity for almost a decade now.
Is it weird that there wasn't a 3.1, 3.5, 3.5.2? You went right from 3 to 4.
We never do half jobs.
Okay, so what's new in Zigbee 4.0?
So Zigbee 4.0 is almost Zigbee coming home, right? So with Zigbee 3.0, we made a conscious decision to get rid of profiles. Over time, as Zigbee as a technology developed, you ended up with different profiles like light link, like home automation, like smart energy. And so we listened to our market and customers, and everybody wanted single Zigbee, which interoperated across different profiles. Zigbee 3.0 took the conscious decision of bringing interoperability across light link and home automation and closures. And Zigbee 4.0 just follows that routine. We have made great progress in enhancing security. We are now trying to harmonize smart energy into the fold. So Zigbee 4.0 brings more stability, more interoperability, brings great new features like new curves for security, curve 25519, P256 as an example. It brings up application frame counter synchronization, a number of different features, all because nothing keeps still. Security security is a big issue, and Zigbee 4.0 is addressing the needs for Zigbee customers going forward. So it's our sort of homage to all those people who have actually used Zigbee over the years and continue to use it and continue to evolve.
Okay, go down a level. When you say the security's been enhanced, what exactly have you done?
So we have introduced dynamic link key negotiation. Essentially, it's a new feature which is used for onboarding Zigbee devices. So previously, you would have had a static key which gets replaced, once the device is onboarded, and you would get a network key transported, which gives you sort of network connectivity. Now we've actually gone even further. We've given more protection to the network key by allowing dynamic link key negotiation using industry standard curves like curve 25519, P256 to negotiate a key between two devices before they are onboarded. And only after they negotiate the key successfully does the sort of the onboarded device get its network key. So it gives you a level of comfort and security that you are talking to the right device.
So how does this affect compatibility from older devices?
So Zigbee has always kept its motto that we are backwards compatible. So every level we go up. So even Zigbee 3.0 was backwards compatible with home automation and Zigbee Lightning. Zigbee 4.0 is backwards compatible with Zigbee 3.0 devices. So essentially, new devices use the new curves. Legacy devices can continue joining the Zigbee 4.0 device as they always did. So nothing changes for them. They can be onboarded as they would normally.
So you're operating at the same frequency as before.
So 2.4 gigahertz is the standard frequency, but in addition to that, we have now launched SUSE, which is sub-gigahertz over Zigbee. So we have moved to also incorporate the European 800 megahertz and the North American 900 megahertz frequency bands.
Okay, you beat me to the punch. What the heck is this Susie thing?
So yes, apologies if I just went ahead of the game here a bit, but SUSE is a new initiative within Connectivity Standards Alliance to support Zigbee over sub-gigahertz. We launched, so Zigbee always had sub-gigahertz, but essentially there were concerns with compatibility and things like that because of the regional nature of sub-gigahertz. So over time, as European standards had duty cycling and stuff like that for sub-gigahertz, we have incorporated those bands into Zigbee. We did that in 2017 for the Great Britain market, where the 868 band was used for the smart energy. And now we've actually gone ahead and also incorporated North American and European frequencies, the 800 and 900 megahertz frequency bands. Of course, there needs to be a distinction between, a 2.4 gigahertz band and a sub-gigahertz band operational. And for that, we needed a separate brand, and SUSE is that brand.
Is there some significance to the name?
It's just a bit of a role play. It's easy for to remember. It's cute. It's SUSE. It's sub-gigahertz over Zigbee. So SUNZI.
Okay. And what are the bandwidths that we're talking about for everything from older to 4.0 to SUSE?
So SUSE is still under the Zigbee 4.0 umbrella. So it supports all the features Zigbee 4.0 supports. It's just that those features are now supported on the 800 megahertz and 900 megahertz band. So we continue to support 2.4 gigahertz. We support European 800 megahertz and North American 900 megahertz band. So essentially supports worldwide 2.4 gigahertz plus regional 800 and 900 megahertz.
Now, I mentioned we've done a lot of work with Matter as part of the CSA. Where does Matter fit with the Zigbee standard?
So people often confuse Matter and Zigbee as two competing standards. I never see them as that. I think they are better as a collaboration rather than competition. Matter is evolving. It's new. It's IP based. It has got a lot of support from ecosystems, and Zigbee is your cornerstone of connectivity. It has been there for 2 decades almost. They are not sort of in the same market as such because they are sort of coexistent. You can, you got your Zigbee, which is low power, and it's a mesh networking protocol to allow your lighting operations in your home. And Matter brings, the Internet of Things connectivity to this. So I think both of them can coexist, and both of them do coexist. Silicon Labs, as an example, the company I work for, we've launched products to do the multi-protocol operation. So both Matter and Zigbee coexisting on the same platform.
Excellent. So what about the timing? When will we see devices roll out, and when will we see end systems roll out with the new spec?
So Zigbee 4.0, as the announcement has gone out today, is now a formal thing. Certification is actually now open. We expect Suzy to launch in January, but Zigbee 4.0 is available today. Devices can be certified for Zigbee 4.0 today, product certification that is. So we expect that in Q1 next year, we will see Zigbee 4.0 products at least certifying, and depending upon the roadmaps of various manufacturers, you will start seeing them if not in 2026, then 2027.
That is awesome. I really appreciate you taking time to educate the audience, Faisal.
Thank you very much, Rich. It's a pleasure being here.
That was Faisal Bayad, and he is a senior software engineer at Silicon Labs, and he's the co-chair of the Zigbee Working Group. Have a great day, Faisal.
Thank you very much, Rich.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Embedded Insiders. For more daily news, videos, and podcasts, visit our website at embeddedcomputing.com. And we'll see you next year.